What's up, y'all? It's your boy Luminarty Petrelli, Misfit Sounds representative. I'm here to let y'all know a little bit about myself, so stay tuned, alright? Yep. I'm still grinding on the music, so it's just a great feeling to just have this work in front of me, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't even have the opportunity to get the work or know the proper way to handle it. So I'm just blessed that I got that opportunity.
Any new concepts, any new kind of songs you're working on, or different theories or anything like that?
Yeah, man, theories at all times I'm working on. Concepts, man, my mind just be running a million miles a minute. So some concepts are stronger than others. I try to work on those concepts. Like I'm working on a concept called The Fifth, which is something I've been dwelling on, trying to find a way to apply it to my life. Similar to the fifth element. You have fire, you have wind, you have water, you have earth. But I want to be something that can't be explained. I want to be something that when people look at me, they don't understand it. And I feel like my name being Luminarty, I want to be the fifth L. I want to be the fifth element. So that's something I'm playing around with. But definitely a lot of concepts, man. The ideas never stop coming. So it's all about pursuing the ideas and turning them into actually tangible things.
One thing that we notice is you always wear scarves every time you perform, stuff like that. Can you explain the Luminarty fashion sense? Like, what do you think about when you put your outfits together, or what are you trying to portray with the scarves? Do the scarves mean anything?
I mean, not necessarily. I just love scarves, man. I just got a passion for scarves. I like building my attire differently than other people build their attire. Not to say that there's anything wrong with it, to each his own. But I just like being different, man, because in the world that we live in, it's a lot of social conformity. And there's no one really, there are not too many people speaking out against that. But to the people who are, salute to you. You get it. We just got to get everybody else on the same page, because we're all individuals. There's no need for anybody to try to be like anybody else. We can just do our own thing and all progress and move in the same direction. But as far as the attire, man, I just try to come out, not looking bummy. You feel me? Not looking like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I just try to come out respectable. Sometimes you dress it up. Sometimes you play it casual. I like to play around with it, but fashion is definitely something I love. It's something I'm into, and it's a strength that I look forward to building.
So, thank you. So as far as when you do performances, are there any things? I know you've done a lot of performances over the years. You've done a lot of shows. Is there anything that still makes you nervous when you perform? Is there anything you still feel like, yo, when I get on the stage, I need to work on this, or I need to do this better because I still feel like I'm lacking as a performer?
Well, most definitely, man. Even at my best show, even at my best performance, I'm always analyzing, trying to find different things that I can do better. Whether it's breath control, whether it's feeling out the crowd more, whether it's talking to the crowd, or just going off and snapping, letting people see the raw ability that I can show. But I always like to reflect on any performance, any show, any situation, and just find a way that I can do it better, but at the same time still be true to myself, still be respectful to others, and still progress.
Any stories, performance stories you want to share? Anything crazy happened in one of these performances, or any embarrassing moments on any of these performances?
I remember one time I was doing a performance with my bro K Trill. He invited me out to, and I forgot the name of the event, but we were supposed to do one of our tracks called About That Life. So before we did the track, K hands me the mic and he's like, yeah, this is my new song, Bingo, bro. I need you to be my hype man. So I'm like, bro, I've never even heard the song. So in the moment, I kind of had to adapt to the situation. Just listen to the track, find the tempo, and if you look at the footage, you can actually go to KE's page, look at the footage. Shout out to Add an Influence for getting the footage. But you can go check the footage, and it doesn't even really seem like it doesn't even really seem like I didn't even know the track, you know, just because of the energy. And I find that with performances, whether you're the hype man or whether you're on stage or being the opening act, you always gotta be ready, man. You gotta be ready to be, you know, move on the fly. You gotta be ready to switch up your performance and still do what you intended to do on stage. So that's a skill that I'm always strengthening. That's something that I'm always working on, and I'm getting better at it.
Do you get good feedback after your performances? Do you have people that approach you or try to put you on their tracks or just want to collaborate with you after the performances?
Almost definitely, man. Everybody shows love. I mean, well, let me not say everybody, but after each show, there's always somebody reaching out to me, showing love, exchange phone numbers, basically just networking. That's what I'm about. I mean, even though I take this very seriously, I love the people, man. I love the people. Doesn't matter if you're a big artist or you can't even rap or you're a kid. I have no problem speaking to you, talking about music, because we all got a love and a passion for it. It's not just about skill and ability. It's about camaraderie and coming together to share our experiences about something that we all love. And that's hip hop, and that's music, and that's artistry.
So that's actually a good segue. So as far as your artistry, who will you say are your influences in the industry? Or if you don't, you can say that too, but if you do, well, who are they and who do you aspire to be like, or who inspires you to be a better artist?
Well, I just aspire to be like myself, man. But at the same time, I understand that I don't know everything. There are people with better tactics, better methods than I, who've been around longer than I. So what I try to do is just look for the positive in everyone, man. Look for the positive in everyone, because it doesn't matter what status or what position you are in life, there's always something positive about what you're doing. And if it's something that I can respect, if it's something that I believe I can use to strengthen the way that I do things, then I'll apply it to myself. You know, I'll apply it to the way that I move and the things that I do, just because I have respect for it and I feel like, wow, that's pretty smart. I should have thought about that. I mean, so as far as artists in the game, I would say just everyone inspires me. If you're working hard, you're being progressive, you're making music that's not conventional, you're finding a different way to reach people, and at the same time, you're a cool person outside of music. I just got respect for you, and that's an inspiration for me. It's showing me that it can be done. You don't have to be a certain way in order to get what you want to get done. You don't have to follow someone else's path in order to do what you want to do, although sometimes it works. But I'm very adamant about creating my own lane, creating my own path, and showing people that there are many ways to get the job done, not just one.
Okay, so as an artist, well, let me bring some perspective into this. You're a DMV artist. You live in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, right?
Okay, that's true.
And there is a hip hop scene in this area. A lot of artists go to open mics. There's a lot of network parties. But unfortunately, in the last 10 years, it seems like the only artist that has come out of DC seems to be Wale. What do you think was his formula for becoming more successful, and what do you think the DMV area needs to do to be like in New York or to be like in Atlanta, where if a stranger comes into the city, they hear what the sound of the city is and they see what the music of the city is, and artists actually represent that and not try to mimic other cities?
Well, I would have to say it's not just Wale that made it out of this area. There were a lot of different artists like Logic, Fat Trell, Shy Glizzy. I would even say Light Show is kind of branching out a little bit. Even Los. There are a lot of artists that are actually in the industry doing their own thing, although they may not be at a higher level of making music or getting as much shine for the music that they make. But I believe one of the fundamental things to do as an artist is just to branch out. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what you do. You always want to branch out to different areas network with different people, relate to different ideas, because not only is it going to enhance wherever you go, but wherever you go is also going to enhance you. It's going to show you different perspectives of life and of music. As far as the DMV scene, there were a lot of positives, there were a lot of negatives. I feel like if we just focus more on the positive and stop glorifying some of the negative aspects, we would be good. But we're definitely moving in the right direction. A lot of artists are coming out with different progressive music. Some of it is turn-up music. Some of it is actually thought-provoking music. You know, shout out to Odyssey, Uptown XO. Shout out to lyricists. Just a bunch of artists that see what everyone else is doing and kind of just veer off. Shout out to Visto. You know, I wish I could name all the artists that are coming to mind. And even artists who are not on the mainstream in the DMV area. You know, artists who are just working hard on their craft, trying to become better, seeking advice. Because even though you're nice, it doesn't mean you're the nicest. And even if you're the nicest, there can be someone coming up, grinding, that's working harder than you're working, that'll eventually be nicer than you. So just staying open-minded as an artist, I feel like is very essential. And that's something that we need to do in the DMV area, Virginia included. Because I feel like sometimes Virginia doesn't even get included in the DMV. Or people don't recognize Virginia as part of the DMV. But I feel like we all just need to stay open-minded to different things, different topics, different ways of moving. Not everybody moves the same way you move. You know, grinding doesn't always look the same. You know what I mean? There are different ways of grinding. There are different ways of progressing, not just professionally, but personally. So it's all about recognizing that, staying open-minded, showing love, respect, and working hard.
Do you have any mantras or any things that you tell yourself, or guidelines that you hold yourself to keep yourself working, to keep yourself grinding, or to be better than maybe you consider yourself the competition? So to be better than yourself, that way you can become a better artist and have more visibility in the artist industry.
Most definitely. As far as a mantra, not necessarily. I just try to stay focused, because music is a beautiful thing, but we still gotta live life. We still gotta work, we still gotta make a living, we still gotta provide for our loved ones. And at the same time, if I'm working, I wanna be able to enjoy my work. I wanna be able to enjoy the product of my work. So sometimes life can get in the way of what you're trying to do, not just musically, but in other areas of your personal life. So one thing I try to do or tell myself is just to stay focused and just work hard, focus on the work. My way of doing that is honing my talents, honing my skill, making sure that when the opportunity arises, I'm diverse enough in my ability to tackle different projects without feeling too challenged or overwhelmed by the track. I want to be able to take hip hop and make it my own, apply it to my personal views, apply it to my skills, and just show people that it can be done. There's not one way to rap, just like there isn't one way to think. So as soon as people start seeing that there's a different way, there are different paths in this large world of ours, then people will start taking their own paths. People will start doing things their way. And because of that, they'll get more recognition than trying to conform to the norm, which is something that I'm guilty of as well. We've all been through it. We've all been through it since, it's called peer pressure. Ever since we were young, who do we want to be like? The athletes, this, that, and the third. And sometimes you can get caught up in these different things that you feel everyone else is doing, so you have to do. If you want to be good at something, you have to be good at it. You can't just want to do it to do it. I mean, that's cool too. People who just, hop in the studio, get a drink, smoke a J, and make music, sometimes they come out with some really great music. something to play for the clubs. I've even heard some turn-up artists come out with inspirational, thought-provoking music. But what I want to build my brand on, skill, ability, and work. I don't want to do nothing gimmicky. I don't want to be a gimmick-drenched artist. I want to show people that it's okay to be a real person and still be nice at what you do, especially when it comes to hip-hop, and still have a spirituality or a sense of spirituality that guides you in whatever you're doing. You know, I want to show people that it's not that hard to juggle different things. You just have to know what you're chasing. And you have to realize and ask yourself if it's real or if it's not. Think about what you're chasing and ask yourself, is it real? Is it you? I mean, that's something that I would say, if anything, that's a mantra. You know, that's a mantra that I tell myself. You know, what are you chasing, Loon? What are you chasing, Jay? Is it real? You know what I mean? But our values are different. We all come from different places. So while I feel like this is something that is necessary for me, it may not necessarily be something that other people have to pick up. They may not have been raised that way. So I would just say, do you, man. When it comes to the DMV artistry, you know, do you, focus on your craft, focus on your skill, and you can't go wrong. People can't deny talent. Even if you're a bum on the street, look at the dude who got the radio station just based on his voice. He was homeless on the corner, holding up signs trying to give money. But because of the way he did his voice, he got shine. He was like, you know what, I may be a bum, but there's one thing that I could do right. There's one thing that I've been working on since I was a child. You know, and that's perfecting my voice. You know, and because of that, at the opportune moment, he was able to see a lot of success. You know, Lord knows what he's doing today with the money, but he was able to see a lot of success. And I feel like if we just hold true to that, focusing on our work, focusing on just doing different things that take us out of our comfort zone in order to become better, if we all focused on that, then the DMV will be popping. And not just the DMV, but everywhere, all around the world. You know, people will be able to just see things differently, especially when it comes to music. And some people are already there, but a lot more of us need to get on that same mindset.